Welcome to Nickel and Steel, a tips and tricks series for Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. I'm Snipe. Pull up a spot by the fire and we'll talk all things RDR2. I see a lot of videos mixing story mode and online mode. They're not the same. This video talks specifically about general hunting for cash and experience online. Maybe you're getting tired of the gun rush or showdown or the other quick join modes and you're thinking of spending time now in free roam. Or maybe you're new to the online game. If so, this video is for you. I'm going to assume that you have some basic background on inventory management and the like. We're not looking at exploits, we're just talking about general gameplay. Online, carcasses don't rot. This will seem silly to point out for people that have played the game online for quite a long time, but if you've just been player killing, or if you have been getting killed very frequently in the game because you're starting, you won't realize that carcasses on the horse last forever, and you don't lose carcasses and pelts unless you're player killed or you log out. So online, when you're starting to grind for experience and cash, you definitely want to be grabbing those carcasses, planning your hunting trips to go by the butcher at the end to get the cash. Another excellent tool, which is good local and online, but particularly online, is Eagle Eye. Rely on Eagle Eye. You'll notice here in this clip, I'm not seeing anything in the background. However, Eagle Eye, which is free, and you can use as many times as you want, doesn't cost anything to you, lets you spot animals, it lets you approach them, and then it lets you get in a position where you can easily cash in. Here you see me take out an entire stand of turkeys, which I wouldn't have even seen if I hadn't triggered Eagle Eye. Paired up with Eagle Eye is nighttime. Nighttime is the right time for hunting. Time doesn't mean as much in the online game, so you can go out at night, and as you can see here, triggering Eagle Eye gives you good contrast. You can search for animals. They show up very well against the dark background. You look for the smoke trails above them. That indicates their odor. Also, as you close on them, you can see here, it's not just one animal. Usually a stand has 4, 5, 6. Here I see the trails. I can identify the animals at the end of the trails, figure out my vector of approach. This is the difference between getting one animal and getting 5, which adds up quickly when you're getting 5 and 10 points per animal, because experience counts. You want to get the experience in addition to the cash you get when you trade in at the vendors. Take one shot with the right gun. When you're hunting, here you see that I'm taking down an animal in the distance with one shot. Up close, there's another animal I shot just before the clip started. I'm going to put a second shot in. You'll see here there's a difference in the yield, right? You don't get as much in terms of meat out of the animal. Over the time, this starts to add up. When you're hunting for both experience and money, when you start losing 2 and 3 units per animal, that adds up quickly when you're in a long grind. So you want to make sure you use the right weapon, the right shots. Use R1 as you're targeting the animal to figure out what the right weapon is as you're learning. Then over time, you'll know automatically what to use. Here you'll see I'll ride off into the distance to get the second animal. I've cut the clip to make it shorter. The yield on the first animal, if you were watching carefully, was only 1 venison cut. Whereas here, because we used 1 shot with the rifle as opposed to 2 on the animal, we're going to end up with 3. Big difference. Related to that is keep it clean. Keep your weapons clean. In the items wheel, you see you can pull up a weapon and hit R3 and PS4. Here you've got one that was less than 50% condition. That's the bottom bar. As I clean it, all the stats go significantly up. This cleaning keeps the weapons where when you fire them, you're taking 1 shot. If you have weapons that are as degraded as you're seeing here, chances are I may have to take a second shot at the same animal, because if I didn't get a headshot, I'm going to have to fire again, and it's going to decrease how much meat or what the pelt condition is from the carcass. Here, this one is not below 75%. 75% is my mark. If you watch me clean this one, I hardly get anything back. It's not really worth it when the weapon's at about 75% condition or better, because you're spending $1.50 per cleaning on the gun oil. So don't clean them until they're below about 75% is my recommendation. Say you're heading back, ready to start selling. You'll notice I check here and see from where I am, there's at least a couple players in Valentine. So about the same distance I have Strawberry and the Butcher there. So I'm going to make a decision to waypoint that and head to Strawberry. Go where others aren't. If I go into Valentine and I get killed by a player, they take a lucky shot or a sniper shot, I will end up losing what I have on my horse, as I mentioned before. Whereas here you'll see that I rode about 2.5 minutes. That's a long ways. You'd think, what did I do? Why did I avoid that? If you go back up and look at Valentine, you'll see that the player that was there is just riding out. So even 2.5 minutes later, if I had ridden up there, I would have encountered that player, and if they decided to, they might have been able to take me and my cargo out. Give them the bird. So bird hunting is one of the most productive ways I found for both cash and XP if you're doing a combination of cash and experience hunting. Birds tend to come in tight clusters. This is a set of 3 here. They also tend to have good payout. Most of the birds do have more than one reward. They have like feathers and meat, or feathers, meat, and lard or fat. So as you go through those, you'll see that you get quite a good payout and you get pretty good experience. Another clip here coming up, you'll see a more typical scenario where there's groupings of birds. You can take them out pretty quickly because the varmint rifle has a very wide range and a pretty good long range, as you can see. So this one there, but you get very good payout. Imagine you do some of the events, you take 5 or 6 minutes, you might get 35, 55, maybe a maximum of 135 points. If you come across a stand of birds like that every minute and a half, which I tend to when I'm on the open plains, which is where I tend to do this, you can rack up 1,800 points an hour and do so with minimal drama. So also, don't ignore the small birds you can see here. Cedar waxwings, I'm getting 60 cents a piece. Value the varmint rifle. The varmint rifle online is the king of weapons right now as of the recording of this video. Not only does it have a wide acquisition range where you go and target what you're going for and it auto targets for you, in addition to that, I find that it's one of the best player versus player weapons. Most players will conduct combat online by doing a point and flick method where they auto target, then they flick the weapon up to get the headshot on a player, and that does kill them outright. So basically the varmint rifle is king. Every time I get on the horse, I automatically mount that rifle, automatically have it up. That way I get anything that wanders across my path in terms of small animals, but also I am in a good defense posture against other players that may come up on me. Ain't got a thing if you ain't got that swing. Swing low. Here I demonstrate you can get off your horse in either direction. This is a combination of, on PS4, joystick plus the triangle. It's not as easy as it looks. It took me a little while to figure out that you could do this, but you can dismount the horse to either side, and I'm demonstrating how I went off one side there into that little pile of flowers. Here I'm going to come off the other side. I've practiced enough to where I can land right next to what I want to pick up. Makes for some fun gameplay and a challenge as you're going, so sometimes the grinding gets old. Gives you a little mini game you can play. Thank you for watching. If you found anything new or interesting in this video, please like and subscribe. I'll be watching the comments for ideas on new videos. I should get one up a week at least. Until the next time, bye for now.